Learning. In this tutorial, we will learn on Informatica architecture overview. This is good for initial uh, learning to capture how ETL works. So it's just a data transformation logic process where we pick the data from the source system and we do the some transformation based on the business requirement, and then we load the data into the target system. So this whole process is done through the ETL tool, and here we have a architecture. So what all things help to perform the ETL activity, so we will learn on this. So in the top you can see we have extract, transformation and load. So basically whole theory revolves around ETL methodology, where E for extract, T for transformation and L for load. Extract means it will just extract the data from the source system. Transform means it will do the some data transformations like LTRIM, RTRIM or data conversion or any kind of functionality to add which improve the data quality. So we can do this under the transformation methodology. And finally, once everything is done, we will load into the target system. Target may be Oracle database or some flat file or XML file. Similar to extract the data, obviously should be some database or some source system. It should be a flat file, XML database. So it could be Oracle database or it could be SQL Server database or any database where the data we have. So how this thing will work through the Informatica? Yes, it required few things. So what the things required? It required one admin console. Admin console have few things. So what the things is there? So we have a domain. Inside the domain we have two important things which is called as services, especially called as integration services and repository services. These two services has their own facility. So what kind of integration services perform? It will just try to connect the source system and try to connect the target system. So to make a connection between the source system can be done through the integration services. Here if the services is down, then you will not able to connect with the source system as well as target system. So always the integration services to be up. Similar to repository services. Repository services, obviously there is a repository, means one database will be allocated, and to maintain the data inside the repository one service is always there. It should be up and running all the time such that the repository from here the data will be stored, you can access through the tool. So here in Informatica, obviously you have a user interface, graphical user interface. What all those are there? In Informatica we have total 4 graphical user interface, so which is actually called as a Power Center client, which is called as a Power Center client tool. And what all Power Center client tool are there? The first one is repository manager, second one is mapping designer, third one is workflow manager, and fourth one is workflow monitor. These are the 4 Informatica Power Center client tool, and each of the tool has their own facilities, do some separate functionality. What all are those? So we will learn later. So far you got to learn that how the things are, especially you have a domain which actually can be accessible through the console. So obviously you have a console, so I can show you here. You can see this is a console, Informatica admin console. You can see in the left there is a domain similar to the domain which I just shown into the diagram. You can see domain. So similar, what the domain here it is. So this is the domain. Now inside the domain there are two things which is important. One is integration services and the another is repository services. So these two services where we have in a diagram, you can see integration services and repository services. It always should be up and running, so then only you can perform the ETL transformation, ETL activity. Now come to the user interface. How we can see, how we can understand that whether this integration service is up and running or not. So you can see this is the right click, and just beside is written like this Power Center integration services service is available. So it indicates that this service is up and running. Now to stop this services, there is a symbol here. You can just check the extreme right corner, so disable the services. Once you click this one, so what will happen, this service is not available, and once this is not available, then obviously you can't perform any ETL activity. Similar to that, there is another services which is called as a repository services, and this symbol, this and also is written like this: power center repository service is available. That means it is up and running, and you can just disable or from here. But it is not recommended to disable the Informatica repository services or integration services. Otherwise, what will happen? You will not the job will not run, or there is no perform will happen through the tool. So it impacts lot of the people. So that's why to maintain this admin console, there is a separate people are there, which is called as a Informatica ETL admin team. So separate team are there who just monitor the activity of integration services and repository services. They are just checking whether it is running up or not, along with the load under the domain, what is the load, how many people are using, whether it's running fine or not. So everything is monitored by the Informatica admin team are there. So obviously it is not for the developer. Developer has different things to do. Now jump into the diagram, we will see few things. So you got it, like this is the domain which is actually connected through graphical user interface called as UI admin console. So this thing I believe that you got it. Now here another user interface is there. You can see in the right, just extreme below, that R, D, W, M are there. So R for it's a repository manager, D for Informatica developer, W for workflow manager, and M for workflow monitor. So each of these client tool has their own functionality. So how so we will see. Okay, before that let's scroll down here, and just I told that the definition of ETL, which actually the extract, transfer and load. Extract means is just the first step in processing the data and the tool, and how the data is stored and kind of security are in place. So this is the extract. And transfer means based on the business requirement to transform the data and clean the data. So that kind of things can be done, and it's called as a transform. And finally load means we just load the data into the target table destination. So this is the destination. From there means after that the report will be generated, and business can do some analytical activity on a final database. So obviously there is a report is linked from the target. So just ISO, and yes, you can see this is the first starter services. This is very much important. Sometimes Informatica is not, the service is not started, so you have to just start the services, then only what will happen. This is the admin console. So here you can see, I can see everything. So it is only because the services is up and running. If the services is not up, then this admin console itself will not open. So where we will see the services? So just click on the search button and just write it services. Yeah, this one, services. Just click here. Yeah, here you will see. Now just click on I button and just check for Informatica. Yeah, here you can see it's a Informatica. Just right side you can see the status is running. So this is running, always should be a running. If it's not running, then you have to just restart or start the services. This is the first thing you have to do before starting the Informatica. If it is not started or if it is stopped, then obviously the admin console or client tool will not work. I hope you got it. So this is the important thing, services to be run. Obviously you don't have a privilege to go to the services section and to check then, but obviously you have to just ask with the admin manager or DBA team, means the system admin team, to check the services whether it's running or not. So that is the important thing. If you stop the services, then everything will be stopped. You can't do anything into the Informatica side. Let's close this one. Now jump into the, this is the first thing, jump into the, yeah, here it is the document. Now integration service, just I told that integration service which is highlighted in a red color, red in circle, it should be up and running. Similar to that, repository services highlighted in a red in circle, it should be up and running. So this is the thing. Okay, now let's jump into the client tool. So just write it like workflow manager. So this is workflow manager, just open anyone. So you can see, just click here, and what will happen, one of the client tool will be open. Just click OK here, and this is Informatica Power Center Workflow Manager. So this is one of the, you can see the W, so it's a workflow manager. Now here is the repository, one of the repository got connected. So let's open this one by double click, yeah, and give the password, username, password, and connect it. Now you can see there is a integration services, you can see, and here there is one folder. So inside the folder you have lot of things will be there. Inside the, like this folder, you have four things, especially task, session, workload, and workflow. Task means wherever, means you have to design one task. There are lot of tasks are there. So session is one of the tasks. Now come to the session. So this is the session, like this is the look and feel of the session. So these are the session got created. So session is also one of the tasks, and there are a lot of tasks are there. So list of the tasks, rest of the tasks will be come here. And how many tasks are there? So you can see there is in the top, there is a section of tasks. So once you click here, what will happen? The create will open. Just open this one. Now you can see, select the task type to create. So you can see session is just one of the tasks. Session is just one of the tasks. Now what all tasks are there? Command is another task, decision is another task, event wait is another task. Just scroll down and you will see there are lot of tasks are there. So each of the tasks we will just tell you later, their own, means what all the functionality of all those tasks, like timer, assignment, workload, control, let you know. So as of now, the most important one is the session task. So this is the session task. So whenever you will create any other task, so it will come here, and session is the special task, so where the ETL will happen. So it's shows you whenever you will create a session, so the list of the session will create here. There is a workload, so another session where you have to create a workload, then it will show here. And the last one is the workflow. So here you will create a workflow. So these are the four section are there: task, session, workload, and workflow. And here you can see this is the task developer. So wherever you will create a new task, so this is the area provided to create a task. Similar to that, this is the area to create a workload designer. This is the area where you will create a workload. Similar to that, this is the workflow designer. So this is the area where you will create a workflow. So you can see this is start button, and it's just linked with the one of the session. So whenever you right click and start the workflow, what will happen? This session or this workflow will started executed, and what the things will happen. So you have to go inside it, and then a lot of options will come up, like general, property, configuration, object, mapping, component, and metadata extension. So each of the tab has their own some special functionality, and based on that it will just pick the data from the source side and it will load into the target side. So there are a lot of things will come up. So this is just a basic, I'm just giving the little idea on how the Informatica workflow manager looks. And now come to the, you can see there are all the four symbols, like here this is the repository manager, this is the designer, and then this is the workflow manager, and this is the workflow monitor. Now from this tool you can open any other tool. Like if you want to open a designer, just click here. If you want to open a repository manager, just click here, it will open a new tab, it will just open a new application. So let's open the designer. So yeah, you can see it just open a new application, and here the look and feel are totally different. So what the things that you can see the repository, and after that there is a folder, and what all things are there: business component, source, target, cube, dimensions, transformations, maplet, mapping, difference of function. So each of these sections has their own world, and there are a lot of things to explore here. So basically the basic thing, you just, as you are a beginner, you just need to know the source. What is the source means? Source means the source where you have a data from where you extract the data. So what is the source? It's a flat file or a Oracle database or a SQL Server database. So that the source information. So this is one of the Oracle database, and inside the Oracle database there are a lot of table are there. So I'm just picking two table. So we have Oracle database, and inside the Oracle database we just need a two table. So we just get the this two table as a source. Similar to that, target means finally where I want to load the data. So this is the table. This is, you can see, ff means flat file, then table. If I want, our target is a flat file, then this is the generic naming convention we use it. And if the target is a Oracle database or some table, so then you just write it in this fashion. So this source and target is important because these are the two critical component for to process the data from one end to another end. And this is the mapping. This is the final one, which is very much important. Here you will create a mapping. You can see we have already created 4 mapping. How the mapping will work? So just drag it to this window, and what will happen? It will open a similar inside logic. You can see the same name will come here M cumulative sum salary, it's came here. So that means it's just open. Now if you want to open this one, just drag it in this area and just release, it will just open here. And same you will see that here also written like this one. And there are a lot of options under the repository, under the edit button, view, tool, layout, version, mapping, transformations, window help. There are a lot of things are there. So based on the requirement we do, especially this mapping button, create, copy, edit, close, delete, validate, dependency. So there are a lot of things are there. We will just see later on all those options. As of now I'm just showing that how it looks. Now you can see in the below section, it's just a very it's just covering a lot of space here. So you can just cancel it here. There is close button, or you have two options. This is the two just option you are seeing that. Once you click, what will happen? The below, it will just toggle out. So here you can see similar to the left side is there. This is also just showing the information, but while you are working in this main part, you don't need this one. So how to remove that one? Yeah, here it is. This is the work. So you have a big space to work. Now if you want to get the previous one, just click here and get it. Now click here and now get it. So this is very much important and mostly is used while you creating any mapping. So now you can see in a mapping that you have a source table. This is the source table, which is called as a employee table, and after that there is a source qualifier, and which actually means what all the column here, same column for name information are there. After that you can see it just passes to the another transformations. Now this is the ETL. So ETL means extracting the data. So this is the E part, and now T means transformation. So we have to do some transformation activity. So I'm just highlighting here. So here this is the T part. This is the T part. I'm just highlighting here. So this is the T part where we do some transformation of the source or incoming data. So we have a sequence generator getting a sequential value, expression transformation where we do some transformation activity based on the incoming data. We do LTrim, RTrim, addition of the data, or we can do lot of things inside the expression transformation. And after, if you want to do some filter activity, so do the filter transformation to filter out some data. If you want to consume any specific data, so we have to do some activity inside the filter transformation. There are a lot of things inside it, but I'm just showing in a broad way. So this will just filter out data. Now the last one is L, means load. It just load into the target table. So this is the whole data flow and of designer. Now from here only you can open repository manager or you can open workflow monitor. So just click here and you will see a new page will open, and it will just, it's a repository manager. So it's just managing, you don't do anything here. It's just managing all your component, whatever you have designed, any source you have created, any source, so same will be shown here. If you have created any target table, it will be shown here. So whatever you did, so it will just a manager means repository. So where is the repository? If you come to the top, so you can see this is the repository. where I'm just highlighting. So this is the repository, and obviously this is a database, so you can't see anything. So obviously there is an interface is there. So here is the interface where you can see the things. Like in the repository you have a source, in a repository you have a target table, in a repository you have a mapping similar to the session and workflow, and there are a lot of things. So whatever inside the repository, so same thing in a graphical way stored into the in an interface. So for that we have another like repository manager. Now the final one is workflow monitor. So this is the final things is there. So what is the final things means, whenever you run the job, whenever you will run the job, so what will happen, you can see the status of the job execution. You can see for everyone the workflow, you can see the right side, it just succeeded, means I just ran it and it's got succeeded. If it is failed, then obviously it will show the fail. Now how you can see little more information about this job. So just do the right click, open latest 20 run, means previously if it executed, so previous run you can see from here. So yeah, I executed, you can see one session is there, means this workflow belongs to one session. Now double click here, just double click here, you will get a lot of information. Just beside it you can see this is the task detail and source and target statistic and partition detail and performance. So just come to the source and target statistic. This is important. It will just show the source information, target information. So you can see this is the source, means SQ means source qualifier. So information, this is the source. Its source means source has a applied row, that means it just process 107 record, and here is the target, it just applied row 10, means it just process only 10 record, means source has a more record but finally loaded few record. Then obviously some filter transformation are there, we just filter out and load the data, a specific amount of data. So obviously as per the business requirement, it may increase, it may decrease, it's totally depend upon how you have designed the data flow. And where is the data flow has been designed, this is the data flow has been defined. If you apply some filter condition to filter out some data, then obviously what will happen, the data will be filtered out. So if the source has 107 record, obviously it will not process all the record, it will just filter out here, and only the condition satisfied data will be loaded into the target table. So this is the final thing where you will see that your design mapping ran through successfully or failed. So that is the thing. If failed, then obviously just click here, right click, and come to the get session log, and here you will get all the small label activity has been done through the integration services, and if failed, then obviously you will get some information that for what region it has failed. So error information captured here, and based on that you can do your analysis. So this is all about the Informatica architecture. I just shown you the Power Center client, also shown you the administration console, how it will consume the source data, did do some transformation, and then load into the target table. So this is all overview of the Informatica architecture. Hope you love this tutorial, and provide your comment and feedback. I will try to improve